Hello and welcome to this episode of the Healthy Business Podcast. Today I'm joined by the wonderful Christine Kenny, and we're going to be chatting all things health and well-being, how being nourished can really help you in so many different ways outside of health, or not just including that. So Christine, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Looking forward to chatting.
Yeah, me too. And you help people, or a bit more specifically female entrepreneurs, don't you, really optimize their health and well-being so that they can perform better in their business, feel amazing, not just in their bodies, but also through business, through life, and really thrive in different areas, don't you?
Yes, that's right. I do work with a few chaps, but yeah, mainly women. I feel that women seem to have the most hang-ups about food and nutrition, and the body image and being visible, being confident in the body. So yeah, that's where most of my work is, and obviously I've been there myself, so I've got the experience there as well.
Amazing. I'm excited to kind of delve into all different areas of that. One thing that I do start with all of my guest interviews is a question. Now, that is, what does a healthy business mean to you? And I'd love to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah, well, to me, it means taking time to stop work, move your body, and feed your body. Get that so often, and this happened to me as well. Even though my background is a dietitian, when I went into my business, I would just sit at my laptop all day and think, I'm hungry, ignore it, get this done, then get something to eat. And by the time I decided to get something to eat, it was 6 o'clock. And, I was feeling the results of having a undernourished, really. I wasn't getting the nourishment that I needed. I wasn't getting the energy that I needed. I was, getting tired. I was getting exhausted. I had brain fog. So for me, a healthy business is taking time to look after yourself and your body so that you can perform better. You can perform at a higher level, and you can certainly get a lot more done in less time if you've got a healthy body. You've got the rest and relaxation to go with it. So, yeah, I
I
suppose
love
that's what it means to me.
that.
Taking
Amazing.
care of yourself.
Yeah, it is important, isn't it? So important to be able to know that you're looking after yourself, but also know that your business isn't impacting that as well. And so how did you kind of come into this space? Being a dietitian, was there something that kind of triggered that, or if you always had a passion for nutrition and how food helps us?
I have actually always had a passion for food, and nutrition. I'm from quite a big family, a big extended family, well, on my dad's side. And I lived with my granny a lot when I was little, and she was almost like, well, what you would call like a medicine lady now. She was always in the kitchen, mixing herbs, creating things to look after her own health. She had arthritis, and she had a few other conditions, and she was always working with plants and things to improve her health. And food was a massive, massive thing to me. Everybody sat round the table. It was a huge table. Everybody sat round there and ate the meals. Quite sexist, but it was the girls in the kitchen helping peel the potatoes and everything. But it was just that whole connection was just lovely. And it wasn't just about the food that you're eating, it was more than that. So I had always had an interest in food, but I grew up not thinking that was very clever or wouldn't amount to very much. So I didn't really do very well at school, and I kind of put it on the back burner. In fact, I went to train to be a teacher at one point, which is nothing like what I wanted to do. Just thought that's what a girl should do.
Oh,
And then when I had my children, it all came back to me, and I was just you know, I wanted to have a healthy body. I wanted to look after them. So I was in the library, 'cause this was before the internet. I was in the library all the time, looking at books and finding things out about nutrition. And then after I had three children, and then I went to university and trained to be a dietitian, because I just was so fascinated about how food affects us, you know, how it can heal us, it can harm us, you know, and it can just maintain our health. So that's why I went into it, because I'm just fascinated by the science of nutrition and the effects on our body, as well as the satisfaction factor that we get from it, and the community
Oh, I love the
emotions.
fact that you've kind of not gone full circle, but you kind of had that interest as a child and then got round to that point of actually going, do you know what? I am going to learn more about this. I think it's something, isn't it? If something's been niggling away at you and you're interested in it, it's so important
Yeah.
to almost fulfill that niggling feeling of
Yes.
going and training is something. I very nearly became a nutritionist as well, actually. And then I went down the route of holistic therapy. So still very similar, but I think my
Yes.
background of being in sport and just understanding the impact of food, of nourishing ourselves and really enabling us to, yeah, perform at our best levels, but also how food can have a massive impact on the opposite of that as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think,
Yeah. So,
we were talking earlier about working with women, and it's not just about nourishing ourselves, it is that, balancing hormones and recognizing what
yeah.
our bodies need and things as well,
Yeah.
that doesn't necessarily get talked about. There's a lot of kind of lack of awareness, I suppose, about how food can impact our hormone levels too.
Yes, I mean, definitely. And there's been a lot of damage to women's bodies over the years through dieting and diet culture. It completely alters hormone balance, metabolic rate. Yeah, that's thought of as a healthy way to live. You
Mm,
know, dieting is normalized.
yeah,
It's something that people do to get a healthy body, but actually, well, I believe it's the complete opposite. It destroys our bodies, destroys our relationship with food, and it destroys our self-confidence. So,
we go into that kind of, I can't have this, rather than I can have, all the
yeah,
great things that we can have, right?
yeah, yeah. And I think that's why it's difficult to maintain health. And for a lot of busy entrepreneurs, it's difficult because there's a lot of confusion about what should I be eating. And when you've got the confusion, you're short on time, your energy is putting into something else. It becomes a real challenge to eat healthy and nourish your body, because there's so much confliction there about what to do. And a lot of people aren't connected to their bodies because of this diet culture that they've been involved in.
I think it's really interesting because I think in some ways we all know that we should be eating healthily. We all know the impact of it. We know, even the sort of 5 a day. I was reading some statistic that actually there's still something like 76% of us don't have 5 a day, even though
Yeah.
that's been drummed into us, and 5 a day is never enough anyway. But I think it's so interesting of just,
Mm,
we know this, or we know a lot of it, but we still aren't doing it. What would you,
no.
sort of, we were talking then just around having that awareness, understanding how do you help people through that? So if someone is coming to you and kind of saying, I know I need to make some changes, what sort of steps do you take them through?
Well, initially, so I believe that people have food rules that prevent them from listening to their bodies. So that could be labeling food as good or bad, fattening food, healthy food, all of those can um, can cause confusion for people about what they should be eating. A lot of people feel that they have to follow a plan and they have to have willpower. And when you remove food rules, you understand how to nourish your body. You don't need willpower, because you start to feel the benefits of it. You start to
Mm.
feel good in your body. When you start to connect with your body, you know what your body needs. You know when you're hungry, you know when you've had enough to eat. And when we're connected to our body, we actually crave nutrient dense food. we don't crave sugary carbs, we don't crave fatty foods because our body's getting the nourishment that it needs. And that connection comes back of what we that natural drive for hunger comes back. And so basically I do quite a detailed personal history about their values around food and health and nutrition. I also look into their childhood. A lot of people have got limiting beliefs around nourishing the body from childhood. Eat everything on your plate. Somebody makes you something, you eat it. Those kind of things. And it
Yeah,
takes away our innate ability to say, actually, that's enough. I don't need that. And also the hunger. We're ignoring hunger all the time, and eventually the body stops telling you you're hungry. So you can go all day without eating anything, and then once you start you can't stop, or you stop whatever you're doing and you get a craving for pizza or I don't know, burger, something, because your body's now going, actually you're really hungry, you need something that's going to be high calorie and get you feeling satisfied quickly. So yeah, so it's quite a detailed background into their eating behavior as well as what they eat. And then I have different modalities of what we do with that, but essentially it's understanding how to nourish your body and how to eat a healthy, balanced diet, and still include things that are fun foods, and remove any guilt or labeling from that. And once we don't have the rules, it becomes easier to connect with the body.
there's a couple of things you mentioned in there around this sort of idea that so much of what we believe comes from our childhood and what our parents kind of said, you have to eat what's put in front of you, and almost that decision on how big your plate of food should be.
Yes, yeah,
It's making me reflect of what I do with my children and kind of encouraging them to try different foods and things like that. But portion sizes is such an interesting one, I think, as well. But yeah, just really reflecting on, actually so much does come from our childhood and our parents and
yeah.
generations above that have kind of told us how to eat, I suppose. And then when we bring in the diet culture that we have in the press and seeing, celebrity magazines and the before and afters and all the rest of it, that's
Mm.
hard, isn't it? It's no
Yeah,
surprise there's judgment all around us.
yeah, it's very hard. It's very hard, and especially when it's put out as a health. So, you're unless you're a certain size, you're unhealthy. And there's lots of evidence to support that we can be healthy at any size. It's not just about body weight, body shape. There's a lot more to health than that. But for so long, that's been sort of projected as you're unhealthy if you're in a larger body. So dieting has become healthy,
Mm.
in the eyes of most people. It's healthy to be restricting, it's healthy to be following certain plans and cutting out food groups. So when actually you bring it back to actually, health, it's quite simple to have a healthy diet once you remove all those rules, because it's just a natural diet of vegetables, protein, carbohydrates, and
Go on,
and
tell us
enjoying
what is
it.
that simple diet? For people listening, go, okay, this all sounds really good. What actually is a simple healthy diet?
Well, that's it. It's just that balance, it's making sure that most of your plate is vegetables, and because that's what's giving us a balance of nutrients, and the fiber. Fiber is so important, which is why, the 5 a day message, what came about is because of all the fiber that we get. So fiber reduces cholesterol, LDL cholesterol. It reduces blood pressure. And obviously, that diverse effect on the gut that fiber has. We need all of that. And we know that the gut is affecting so much that goes on in our bodies and our mind. So, that is the base, lots and lots of fiber is needed. And then, of course, we need protein for our metabolic rate, for cell repair, for growth. Protein, so important. Essential fats, omega-3s from fish, oily fish, and then sea kelp if you don't eat fish, which is essential because we can't make those, and we need them for our brain function and lots of nerves that go on around in our body, our skin, our hair, carrying hormones. Fat was demonized for so long, and I have women in clinic in the 50s and 60s who have been on Slimming World their whole life and never had any fat. And the thyroid's off, they have really bad menopausal symptoms, the skin's dry, pale, their hair's thin, the nails are broken,
It
and
really
they've
is
had
about
no
what you're
fat.
putting in, though, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then carbohydrates, another one that's been demonized for so long, when actually that's our body's preferred fuel source. And even if you cut out carbohydrates, your body's going to make it. Your body's going to make glucose. There's so many misconceptions, which I think causes a lot of confusion. Um, so I think taking away the misconceptions and making it really easy to have that balance,
Mm.
listening to your body, knowing when you've had enough to eat and saying that's enough, thank you, don't need any more.
Yeah, definitely. And
I'll
giving yourself
put
permission
it
to
in the
say that
bin.
as well. Yeah, having that
Yeah,
awareness and then giving yourself permission are probably the two key things. Like,
yeah, 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 yeah.
it's so
Um,
important. So
so I
important
think
to
I think a
recognize.
healthy diet can be simple.
Absolutely. No, I love that and totally agree with you. And it's not just about, the health of our bodies, is it? From a business owner perspective, we hear people that are saying that they're stressed all the time, that they're busy, overwhelmed. And that can be really impacted by what we're fueling ourselves with from a food and nutrition
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah,
I'd love to dive into that and just, I suppose, give that awareness and help people have a little bit of clarity around, the importance of food, because we know we need it from a health perspective, but actually, if we're fueling ourselves with the right things, then we can increase our productivity, we can reduce that stress, we can have clearer minds, and all of those things have such a huge benefit to you running a business.
yeah, exactly. If the body's got what it needs, then you're going to work optimally. If your brain's getting glucose, your brain's hydrated, you're going to be able to perform better for longer and with a higher caliber. With stress and exhaustion, we know that increases inflammation in the body. So the thing to counteract inflammation are antioxidants from a sorry, to mute that. So sorry.
That's okay. We can cut that bit out.
They normally just go, but he was standing at the door, so the dog wouldn't stop barking. So
Oh,
I had to take the parcel off him.
oh, that's okay. Not a problem.
So, what was I talking about? Stress on the body.
Yeah, I think it was just kind of fueling ourselves with the right things from a business perspective.
Yeah, okay. Um, so yes, if the body is, there's a lot of inflammation in the body, that can obviously lead to poor health, heart problems, blood pressure, um, and even in some cases it can lead to burnout, adrenal fatigue, and we can combat that by having a healthy, nourished body. So again, it's the things like lots of fiber in the diet that helps to reduce inflammation. Those healthy fats help to reduce inflammation. And it's just making sure that you're getting that nourishment so that you're prepared to fight off these problems, to keep your
Amazing.
body healthy.
Yeah, it is so important, isn't it? And I think, when we look at it from getting results, when we're working so hard within our businesses, sometimes we're pushing so hard for those results that our health, our food choices just kind of go to the bottom of the list, don't they? As you said earlier, around getting to the end of the day and thinking, oh my goodness, I haven't eaten. And then your
Yeah,
body's just going, I just craving, I just need something quickly. And that's when we're making those quick food choices, which is completely
yeah,
natural. So it's just giving yourself that space through the day to fuel yourself in the right way rather than kind of doing it as a not necessarily as a last resort, but not prioritizing it. It's kind of something
yeah.
that has to happen almost at the start, and then everything else kind of filters from that.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, understanding that you are the business, you have to be healthy. That you can't just crash and burn and repair and then come back again and and keep that cycle keep going. So actually taking time to take a break, have some lunch, move your body is actually benefiting you. I'm going to be um, able to enjoy the results of your work, and like I said before, just keep the brain power, keep the energy levels going, and be prepared as well.
And when there is so much to do as well, and we've got a to-do list that's never ending, as a business owner, you're wearing so many different hats. You need to have that. It is important. We're all busy, I think, but it's just taking responsibility, I guess, for making those food choices and fueling
Yeah,
yourselves in the right way. If on the flip side, if someone's starting to recognize that they are feeling stressed, they are feeling burnt out, what would be your sort of go-to from a food perspective, nutrition perspective, to start making some small changes? Obviously, they're starting to become aware of something's happening, but not necessarily quite sure what it is. We've talked about the types of food that we need to nourish ourselves, but are there any sort of suggestions from, or I suppose recognizing those warning symptoms?
yeah. I mean, I think if you're finding that you're not sleeping well, if you're finding that you're forgetting things, you don't seem to be able to get to the end of your to-do list because you're starting one thing, getting distracted and doing another, I would say that those are probably warning signs. You're working all night, you're not moving your body, you're not finding time to even go for a walk or get up and go for a cup of tea, those kind of things. Um, and you're just feeling lethargic, you're feeling drained, you look in the mirror and you think you don't look very healthy. I just really checking in on yourself. And I what I would do is I would recommend that you have that awareness of create writing a food diary, so writing down exactly what you are doing and when you're doing it, and then it becomes quite obvious to a lot of people, actually there's a lot missing from my diet here. There's a lot that I can do. And then it would be just simple things like at the beginning, it's probably would be meal planning. So making sure that you've got, write down, I'm going to have this for breakfast, I'm going to have this for lunch. It could be just really, really simple things like I'll buy some the chilled salmon and a bag of salad, and put something with that. It could be something really simple, a soup even, just to make sure that you stop. You've got something there. You don't need to prepare anything. You can stop, take that, have that, and then get back on with your work. Giving yourself permission to allow yourself to have that time to look after yourself, I think, is really important. Having that confidence that you can take a break. But I do think that at first, if you're out of the habit of eating regularly, you do need to get a little bit of a plan together for yourself. Um, Even if it's just something really simple. Even if you're having the same thing every day during the week, at least you're having something, and then you can build on it from there. Rather than, I'm going to be cooking this for my lunch and this for my tea, and and then it's all too overwhelming, and you haven't got that. Just little steps really to just get into a routine of eating, I think.
I love that. It's so important to keep it simple because, as we were saying, we are busy as business owners, things happen, but making that time, it's almost the not necessarily doing it in the easiest possible way, but doing it in the most optimal way for you. And quite often that can be, just booking out time in your diary. We're good at filling our diaries with all the bits to do with running a business.
Yeah.
But as you said, we are our businesses, and we need to block out time for us and to nourish ourselves, to enable us to perform at our best levels as well. It's not just about the doing on the business, it's about doing on ourselves and being.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And I love the idea of just the simplicity. You can buy these days, we can go into shops and we can buy, pre-cooked protein and bags of salads that we can just put together and make something pretty quickly.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There's lots of options out there, and I think that's another one of the confusing things, that a lot of people think everything has to be cooked from scratch to be healthy, and it doesn't. We can have a balance of things, and there's lots of healthy options now. There's lots of places where you can get a takeaway that's healthy.
Mhm.
There's lots of different places available now. So we're in a world where well, this part of the world, food is very easily accessible, and we've got a lot of choice, really. We can make choices, and it's just giving ourselves permission to take the time to make those choices so that we can improve our health or maintain our health and well-being.
And I think one of the other things that you mentioned earlier was around the idea of confidence. And we know as business owners, we need to be confident to be able to be visible. And we're not going to be visible in the same ways if we're not feeling confident.
Mm.
But also, as a business, we have to be visible in a way that works for us. It's not just, shouting the loudest and that kind of thing. It's feeling aligned to you. But people need to know about your products and services to be able to buy from you, to have a sustainable business, and that comes down to visibility. So if you're not feeling confident, you're not going to want to get visible, and that's really important as well. And I wanted to delve into this idea around kind of confidence, not just within ourselves, but actually how nourishing ourselves can help with that too.
Yeah. So a lot of the time, people are judging, what my clients are judging, their self-worth and their confidence on their appearance. And that's, again, it's things that we've learned from society. So if they feel that they're in a larger body, or they're older, they've got older, and now they're lacking confidence because they don't think they'll be taken as seriously. But when you are connected to your body, and when you're feeling healthy and you're feeling good, your confidence does naturally increase as well. And you feel that you're able to have a positive impact on your own life with, maintain your own health and feel good about yourself. And that just radiates. And I think, and it ripples through. I mean, I do, in my programs, I do a lot on body image and body confidence, and detaching your self-worth from your body, so seeing your body more as a vessel, and your worth is inside. It's what you do, it's who you are. So we do a lot of work on that. But I witness every day clients that come to me feeling out of control with food, not knowing how to nourish themselves, and then starting to nourish themselves. And they're just, the whole aura is different because they feel good. They've got that energy, they've got the vitality, and they're moving the body more. And that makes you feel good as well. And it's just this whole combination of actually putting in goodness makes you feel good, and that radiates off. So it's almost like a natural confidence booster, I suppose. And knowing that you're doing all that you can to nourish your body, and that is translating then into the work that you're doing, and the output that you're getting from your work. It's just naturally something that makes you feel good.
I love it. So not only helps you show up better, but actually helps you get better results, and you're going to inspire more people, I think, because one of the things that I always think about is that, no one wants to work with someone who is feeling sluggish, who is, drained of energy themselves. They want to work with people who are going to help them get the solution that they're looking for. And so you
Yeah,
need to have that kind of confidence to be able to do so, and show that confidence rather than feeling and sharing that you're tired all the time or that you're burnt out all the time, because that's not what someone's want to work with. So
no.
it's visibility in lots of different ways, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the vitality definitely shows in your whole body, and the way that you move your body. And that is what people connect with. People connect with you. So yeah.
Yeah, people buy from people, don't they? And having,
Yeah.
if there's two very similar people, I mean, you're never going to get exactly the same person, which is what's so important. But if one is, drained of energy and sharing those kind of stories on social media or within their content, and there's someone else who's always positive, who is always, kind of proactive and things, that's the person that you're going to want to work with. And I
Yeah.
think that's really important to remember as a business owner, that it's not just you and how you're feeling. It can actually have a direct impact on your business results, which is really obviously important when we're running our own business. So many different things that we have covered today.
Yeah.
I've loved it, from looking
Thank
after
you.
yourself and nourishing yourself, having that understanding, the impact on our own health, our stress levels, our hormone levels, but also actually, and for you guys listening to this, that direct impact on your business results, from your productivity levels, your energy levels, your mind clarity and decision making, to actually who you're attracting and your ideal clients. So many different levels. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Where can people find you if they're wanting to connect?
So I'm mainly on Facebook, just my name, Christine Kenny, and Instagram, Christine Kenny _ and then I have a website, which is christinekennynutrition.com.
Amazing.
But I'm on Facebook all the time, so it's probably the best
Facebook
place.
is your place. I love it. Well, do make sure you go and find Christine, if you want extra tips on nutrition and health. If you want this sort of impact on business, then obviously I'm over on Sarah Cook Coaching on Instagram and Facebook as well. Christine, thank you so much for joining me. Absolute
Thank
pleasure
you.
to be chatting to you on something that I'm really passionate about and completely understand the impact. And for you listeners, if you have got any feedback, any questions, do feel free to reach out, leave us a review, come and find us on social media. And I will see you all on the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.